Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Rebuilding Fulham, episode 13. Now at the end of the last episode we were just about to play the Manchester City game in the league, and we're going to jump straight in. This is probably not going to be a very long episode as there's actually only 4 games to talk about, so I'm going to show you highlights of all of them just so you at least get your money's worth on that one. And there's not been that many goals either, especially not in this first game which I'm about to show you. Now I think we were actually pretty decent, although looking at the stats, you may not think so. We started off quite well and actually dominated the first sort of 15-20 minutes and had a few clear-cut chances in this game. But City just, as they do, came at us like a freight train. And as a result of that, I think we got 5, 6, maybe even 7 yellow cards. And that's not what you want to see, because we got fined by the FA for having, I think it was either 6 or 7 yellow cards in this game. We had some really good chances, and I think we actually outdid them on the number of clear-cut chances created in this game, and that is what really irks me, because we actually gave it a go. But I guess you could see that there is a positive. Yeah, look, 4-1. 4-1. We created 4 clear-cut chances in this game. Unfortunately, they were able to do this, and Negredo snuck one in, and then they did batter us at times, but they didn't create anything really excellent. We actually had some really good chances early on, and possibly could have scored 2 or 3 goals before they got anywhere near that, and that's such a shame. But the main thing is we didn't lose by anything too much. We've still only lost goals by 1 game. Games by 1 goal, sorry. That was a strange thing to say. And that is good, because it means that if we can keep losing games when we do lose by the odd goal, hopefully when we win games and we can win by a few more goals, we can have a positive goal difference, maybe. And that should certainly help us in our fight against relegation. Although, if I'm honest, I don't actually think we're going to be in a fight against relegation. I think we can finish upper half, maybe, you know, not top half, but like the top half of the bottom half, if that makes sense. So maybe 12th, 13th kind of place. At least, you know, give ourselves 8-9 points gap between us and the final relegation team. Now, this one was a great game. This was the first sort of sign for me that we actually could kick on and do something this season. We went to West Ham. There was a lot of build-up before this game. We were able to put out a very, very strong side, and they delivered. And then some. We absolutely battered them. We hammered the hammers. And that's a good feeling, because we've been looking good in games, but never quite doing enough to either win by a big margin or sometimes not win at all. The Blackburn game is a kind of key example of that, although Everton possibly a little bit more. This time, we took our chances. In fact, we probably could have had more goals, and it's a shame we didn't get them. But here's the first one. Kacaniklic with the ball, loses out, but unfortunately Draga gets it back, but then back to Kacaniklic. Just sort of a mess in the midfield. This could be another one of those extended highlights. We'll have to see how it goes. I really wish they didn't do this. Right, here we go. Larson wins it into Draga, through to Mitroglou, and Mitroglou scores a goal similar to the one Draga scored against Newcastle with the delicate chip over the goalkeeper. That is what we like to see. And another goal for Mitroglou. So he's starting to get himself into good goal scoring form, which is good for us too. They have Victor Valdez in goal, you'll note. And they kept playing balls like that. That was literally all they did for most of the game. I was tempted to try and sit on this, but then I thought, no, I'll stick to my guns. I don't want to invite pressure on us. So we just stuck to playing the same game. We didn't change the tactics. I didn't really have to do anything in this game, apart from make some substitutions. This was wonderful from Thomas Draga. Just a delicate finish. I think that was his 4th league goal of the season now. He has set off just like he did last season, if anything in slightly better form, and that is saying something. We had to wait quite late for our 3rd goal. I was kind of happy with 2-0, so I didn't feel the need to change anything in particular. Kacaniklic slips the ball through, and McDonald Mariga, oh yes, 3-0 to Fulham, and that's a big win. Plus the fans loved it because it's a local derby game. We managed to win 3-0 away from home, and a bit more like that, and we could see ourselves maybe even challenging for a top half of the table finish. It just depends on the consistency. Now, we carried that form into this Liverpool game, and I was gutted here because we genuinely did outplay them. We were the better side in this game. Although the goal was an own goal from Sacco, it may as well have been Yulsgaard's goal from the corner. It was probably going to go in anyway, but Sacco did a good job of putting it in the net for us, so we'll thank him for that. Unfortunately, we weren't able to take our chances elsewhere in the game, and Liverpool did create the better chances despite their smaller number of shots. I thought we could hang on, but they brought Gerrard off the bench, and in the end, it was just too much for us. But Liverpool, you know, although they'd had a poor start to the season, this is a side that are challenging towards the top, or should be, certainly by the end of the year, you'd like to think. So to get a point from them at home is probably a bonus point when you think about it, as a newly promoted side, which is what we are, let's not forget. We are still a newly promoted side. When we got the ball like this, I genuinely thought we were about to make it 2-0. Unfortunately, Daniel Sturridge, who'd actually only come on as a substitute, as well as Gerrard, linked up with Gerrard, just ran all the way down, played it to the far post, and Steven Gerrard put it in the net. Our goalkeeper did not even move a fucking muscle. But that's just what happens sometimes. Goalkeepers in this game, a little bit off. I think this is now... Corrali is now in goal for us because we have an injury to Martin Stecklenburg again, which is very, very... Yeah, Corrali is now in goal. That's annoying because Stecklenburg was doing a very, very decent job for us. Unfortunately, I think he's done his back again with a lower back stress fracture, which is not good. It's also worth noting that Ross McCormack has got knee tendonitis, and that is why he's not featured at all for us this year. He might be back in December, I think, but in all honesty, he's only going to play as a squad rotation player for when Mitroglou isn't ready, or maybe as a substitute. We then managed to be playing Manchester City again. And I thought at first we were actually doing quite well, because although they went in front against us, we did manage to get the equaliser through none other than Alexander Gorgon again. Unfortunately, we then fell for the same old trap of conceding not long after we'd scored, and then spent the rest of the game kind of sitting on it. Although, again, like the first game against City, we created a few clear-cut chances, if I remember correctly. And I should do, because it was not that long ago that I played this game. Literally, we're talking 10-15 minutes ago that I played this. Yeah, in fact, 2-2 on clear-cut chances, but as you can see, they had 19 shots, so they were just... I don't think either of the goals that they scored even counted as clear-cut chances. Any of the 3 goals. I think the clear-cut chances they actually missed, and Corrali did a great job in goal. We lose the ball in this area a little too much sometimes, but it might just be because I only see the key highlights, so who knows. Unfortunately, Nasri's ball in, and Pjanic, well, it was disappointing because we'd started quite well again. Most of those shots and shots on target came before this goal. We seemed to get in really early against City and then just not quite take our chances. But not long after that, we did actually show a little bit more fight than we did in the first game. Although possibly the overall result is worse, so maybe the fight was as a result of our attacking intent, which actually maybe led us to concede a couple more than we had maybe intended. Ruiz did play in this one, which is nice to see. It's the League Cup, and we did not rest a few players, but Draga and the like were a little bit jaded, so it was best to just let them have the night off. I think I did bring them on as substitutes later in the game because we did need a little bit. Him and Kacaniklic, I believe, were the players that sat out. Larsen's cross here was great though, and Gorgon got up there and got the goal for us, making it 1-1. And at this point I thought, yeah, maybe we can kick on here, but we were still behind on the sort of overall stats of the game, so I wasn't holding my breath. But you can never tell with these things. Unfortunately, it was not to be, as we kept kind of doing what West Ham were doing to us, clearing long balls up the pitch to the goalkeeper, who just kept bringing that back at us, and eventually we caved. It's a shame, but it happens. We caved in the end. Pjanic into Nasri, back to Valero. I don't know if that's Borja Valero or a different Valero, the former West Brom player. I'm guessing it's a different Valero, possibly a youngster. But I honestly couldn't tell. I've not really been following their transfers. And Fernandinho, the defensive midfielder, breaking forward and putting City back in front. And this time they held on to it. We did push, but as we pushed, they caught us from a corner in the second half with Alvaro Negredo scoring another goal. And he's been in great form for City this year in the league and the cup, so it's not really that much of a surprise. Still a bit of a shame though. I would have liked to have seen us maybe keep the game a little bit closer. But what can you do? We fulfilled our objective in the League Cup, I guess you could say. Right, I'm going to show you the table now, and then we'll go through the stats and have a look at some injuries too, because we definitely do have some now. We are 10th place now, with 11 points. 11 points from 9 games. It's definitely survival form, there's no doubt about that. We're actually still above Liverpool in the league. They've had a very, very poor start. And Burnley have had a much poorer start, as you can see. They already have a minus 20 goal difference after 9 games. That is not good, considering how well they did last year. Manchester City already starting to open up a bit of a gap at the top, and they've won the league the last 3 years in a row. So this year looks like it's just going to be another feather in their cap on that front. Although Robin van Persie has been doing his best for Man United to keep them going, Stephen Fletcher has also been banging in the goals for Sunderland, which is interesting to see. Wilfred Boney has been providing a lot of assists for West Brom, who he now plays for. I'm guessing he signed for them after Swansea were relegated, though Giroud is actually the most consistently good player in the league, which is interesting to see. Just have a little look at our stats now. Not a lot new to add to this, after all, there's been very few games. Burn, Trippier, Odegaard and Parker have now played in every single game so far this season. Our top goal scorer is Mitroglou with 4 goals, though Draga is straying behind with 3. Top assists, Scott Parker, still up there. That's sort of the position that Odegaard filled last season, but I don't think he's actually got an assist for us at all yet this year. Let's just have a little look. Where is he? Here he is. No, nothing yet. Player of the match awards, Draga now has 2 for himself, so that's good. And he's ties Parker at the top. Pass completion, Parker still tops it with 84%. He's been very good, although Lucci has been pretty good as well in the appearances he has made. I don't count the goalkeepers because most of the time with the way we play, they're just passing it out to the fullbacks, and that is not a very difficult pass to make. Average rating, Scott Parker still dwarfs the rest of the team on his average rating. 7.44, he is in form, to say the least, and that's good to see. Right, let's have a little look at the injuries, because I'm certain we have some. In fact, I know we have some, but I want to just make sure that they're the same ones. Right, so Plumain has got strained knee ligaments, and he's going to be out for quite a while, although he hasn't played that many games. Lassie Vegan, he picked up that on his travels as a lone player. Ross McCormack has knee tendonitis, as I believe I said in the last episode, or maybe earlier in this episode. And Martin Stecklenburg has a lower back stress fracture, which is not good. We do have some signings. I believe we have some signings. I'm not entirely sure if they will show in the history yet, but no, that's the wrong button. Transfer history. Do we have them? No, they're not showing yet. I don't know if there's a way to get to future signings, future transfers. Here we go. Yes. Future transfers, fees that have been agreed. Frederick Rönau. I don't actually know how to pronounce that since it's Danish, and I cannot remember how that letter is pronounced, but we'll just go with Rönau for now. And yeah, he's a goalkeeper for the future. He's not brilliant yet, but he has potential to be at least pretty damn good. And I'm looking at it because Stecklenburg isn't the youngest anymore. Kirali's even older than that. Kirali will be in a wheelchair or with a walking stick by the time that this kid is ready to take his place. But he looks like he's got a lot of potential. My scouts certainly reckon so. So we've got him on a nice long contract. Or do we? No, we just got him on a contract. Oh no, sorry, yeah, we do. We've got him on a decent contract, but he'll be joining us at the end of this season. No, in January. My bad. But he won't play a great deal. I'll probably send him out on loan. In fact, I should have probably put a clause in to loan him straight back to ASC Horsens, but, you know, what can you do? He has potential to be a good Premier League goalkeeper, and as you can see, he's already as good as Kirali, so he'll make a decent backup. Now, look at this. Martin Odegaard. Anyone who knows anything about football will have heard of this kid. He's 16 years old now, but he's 15 years old, and I believe he's already had a senior cap for Norway. Yeah, he has on here, but I don't know if that takes into account real life stats. But in real life, I'm fairly certain that he's already had a senior cap for Norway at the age of 15. He's already been touted as the next Messi, and you know, the usual bollocks that comes around whenever a player shows a little bit of talent for a consistent period of time. He has played an entire season, as far as I could tell, in the Tippeligaen in Norway. And yeah, we've picked him up. We've picked him up for £22,000. Now, this is because his contract is coming up, and we will be signing him on the 1st of January. He, again, is going to be one for the future, although he can still play those roles, and if his progression is as good as I think it can be, to validate the fact that he is going to be on some absurd money for a 16-year-old, then he better be worth it. But I think he'll be one for the future as well, and could lead us to glory if we carry on going. Now, this is a strange one. Well, not a strange one. This is an interesting one. This is Thomas Spiridonidis, or Spiridonidis is his name. He's Australian. I'm guessing he has probably got some Cypriot heritage. Oh, Greek. My bad. Close enough, but well, not close enough. They're different countries. But he's a central defender at the moment, but he's got a decent amount of potential, and I picked him up for the youth team. I've been scanning other youth intakes, and he's one that stood out. There's been quite a few Brazilians that stood out, but unfortunately work permits and whatnot, we've not been able to get any of them. I'm just looking for any of them that have got sort of green or blue here, because those ones could be important for us. That's, you know, Some people might consider it cheating, but I'm just scouting like crazy because I want to make sure that we've got a good amount of players coming through that even if they don't break into the first team, we can still sell them on for a decent amount of profit. And that is probably about that. Now, let's just have a look at how many fixtures we have in the next month so we can preview where we'll be coming back into things. We have in November, so we have Spurs away, which is a televised game, Palace away as well, but that should be slightly easier. Then we have Hull and Sunderland at home in November. So 4 games for you next month. There'll be no cup ties in that month. It's just straight up league form. And I'd like to try and take, well, 7 points. I can't expect to get anything from Spurs. Palace, maybe we could win there. Who knows? Depends on their form. Hull and Sunderland, although Sunderland have had an alright start and Hull haven't had a bad start, have they? No, in fact, Sunderland and Hull are decent. We could struggle, but if we can get 5 points from those games, I'll be pretty happy because that'd give us, 16 points from 13 games. It's decent form. It's definitely going to keep you up, although I would like to achieve a little bit more than that this year. So, I will see you at the end of this month. If you've liked what you've seen, hit the like button. If you like it even more than that, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.